Welcome to our NFL Week 3 review. I'm Eli.
And I'm Jimmy.
And let's get right into the games. First game of the week, we had the Jags 20, Titans 7. Titans kind of just played like just awful. Awful is the best word.
They were very, very rough. The Jags kind of surprised me. They had a decent game, Gardner Minshew.
20 for 30, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Man's a rising legend.
Other than that, their stats were pretty just spread out.
Yeah.
Fournette had 15 carries for 66 yards.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best average of yardage per carries.
Marcus Mariota for the Titans, he had 304 yards.
34 yards
nothing
rushing.
to back it up. He didn't have, they weren't, it wasn't anything.
Mariota shouldn't be rushing.
Yeah. Then we had the Lions and the Eagles. The Lions went at 27-24.
Really close game.
Yeah, Stafford had 201 passing yards with 1 touchdown. That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not awful, not great.
Yeah.
Jones had 6 catches on 101 yards and 1 touchdown. For the Eagles, Wentz had 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Sander, the running back, had 53 yards rushing and 70 yards receiving. I mean, that's awesome for him, but how do you have more receiving yards when you're a running back?
Yeah, I don't know. That's when your team doesn't have
any receivers. Zach
Ertz
was not playing well at all.
Well, that's all right. We have the Vikings and the Raiders. Vikings win at 34-14. Vikings are looking like a decent squad this year.
I like the Vikings. They're playing good. I mean, they'll probably end up losing in the playoffs again, but
it's alright. They'll make it.
Yeah. Carr for the Raiders was 27 for 34. A good percentage on 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 interception. That's just the Vikings defense. Can't do much about that.
Yeah, that's fair. And Waller, he had 13 receiving yards, 134 yards. And he was targeted 14 times,
13 catches for 14 targets.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good accuracy from your quarterback.
For the Vikings, Cousins had 174 yards and 1 touchdown. The big name of that game was the running. Oh my gosh. When you have 2 running backs just go off in general,
It's hard to stop.
Cook, 16 carries, 110 yards, a touchdown, and then backing him up is Madison with 58 yards and another touchdown.
Strong. You don't even need to throw the ball at that point.
This game just no-brainer. Patriots 30, Jets 14. There was no touchdowns from the Jets offense. It was all from their defense. Just 14 points from the defense.
Which is surprising because, you think Patriots offense, they're going to be crazy, but...
Well, I think those came in when the backups started being put on offense. Brady came out, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, you don't want your best players getting hurt in scrub minutes.
Yeah, Brady had 360 yards, 2 touchdowns before he was pulled from the game. But other than that, nothing really exciting stats-wise. So we will go to the game of the week, which was our predicted game of the week. The Chiefs and the Ravens. Jimmy almost completely guessed this score right. He was off by 2 points. Jimmy had a prediction of 35-28, and the actual score was 33-28.
Yeah, that was close. I'm going to get one. Lamar Jackson, he's still doing his thing. He had 267 yards. He's just rolling on that highlight. I don't know. He just continues to impress.
Yeah, escapes the pocket well. Just a good player.
Yeah, he's great.
Ingram for the Ravens had 16 carries on 103 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a pretty good game for a running back.
Yeah.
I would not be mad if I were him. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we got Mahomes, 27 for 37, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 5 receivers above 40 yards.
He just hits the open man. He finds him a lot.
The Colts squeeze in a win. Barely. Julio Jones almost came back and beat the Colts single-handedly. It's a little scary, I'm not going to lie. But final score was 27-24. Can you go?
I mean, the Falcons, Ryan, he had 304 passing yards and 3 touchdowns with only 1 interception. I mean,
it was an interception early. He was mad about it, and he came back out and
he
definitely fixed himself.
Yeah, and then Julio Jones, he had 8 receptions for 128 yards and 1 touchdown.
One insane touchdown.
That's
double coverage in the back of the end zone.
He's a beast, though, so.
But on the Colts side, we got Brissett. He was 28 for 37 for 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. Literally almost had more yards than he's averaged the first 2 games in one game, so that was pretty good. He started out like 13 for 13 on passes. It was really good, like definitely something the Colts fan wanted to see. Vinatieri didn't miss a field goal or an extra point. I think we can clap for that.
For one game of the year, that's going to happen. It won't happen again.
And then Mac was short of 100 yards, only had 74 yards, but also had a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a decent game for him. And then we got the Packers and the Broncos. Wasn't much of a game. Packers beat them 27-16. That's what we all predicted, you know. Broncos are not strong.
Packers had pretty even stats around the board. Rodgers had 235 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah. Joe Flacco threw 20 for 29. That's a decent percentage with 213 yards. With only 1 interception. That's decent.
Lindsay, the running back, had 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's about it for that.
Yeah.
Another game that was just expected was the Cowboys and Dolphins, 31-6.
Dolphins are the new Browns. They're not going to win a game.
Nothing to talk about on the Dolphins side stat-wise at all, but we can talk about the Cowboys side for sure. Prescott had 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. He did have 1 interception, but
Elliott, I mean, he had 19 carries. I mean, 125 yards. You wish 19 carries. You want to see a little more than that from a big name running back, but that's all right.
But hey, he had their second string running back coming in with 13 carries and 103 yards and a touchdown.
What?
Pretty good game when you got 2 running backs and over 100 yards running.
Yeah.
And then Cooper, the wide receiver, had 6 catches for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We got the Bengals and the Bills. Bengals suffer another tough loss, 21-17. It's just I'm gonna say they're in a slump. We'll give them that.
No, it's going to continue the whole year. Let's be honest. It's been a pretty long slump.
So right now they're hoping for what? Their first win? Oof.
Yeah, and we haven't even looked. Who knows who they play? They'll probably just get. Hopefully they just play the Dolphins or the Jets, and then they might actually have a chance.
It'll be a very good game.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton, he was 20 for 36 with 249 yards. I mean, that's
Andy Dalton's not playing bad.
Yeah, he had a touchdown.
Sucks.
He just doesn't have anybody to back him up.
I mean, missing
Joe Mixon. He has 15 carries and only 61 yards. That was their top runner. That's insane.
Yeah, that's no good. Josh Allen was 25 for 36, 243 yards, 1 touchdown. And they had Gore with 14 carries and 76 yards and a touchdown.
That man's crazy. He's like one of the top running backs in the league ever, and he's still doing this thing. He's pushing age limits.
Giants Buccaneers was
a good game.
See, I feel like it's so hard to pick a game of the week. I feel like this is also tied for game of the week because, or I guess we could call the Giants' new Daniel Jones, their new quarterback, could get play of the week for his rush in on 4th and 5 to win the game.
Yeah.
So I think that could go either way. But in general, Daniel Jones was 23 for 36, had 336 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Talk about a replacement for Eli Manning.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants still have their struggles, but at least they have somewhat figured out the QB area.
I mean, the Bucs aren't a horrible team. They're a mid-average team, so that's a good win for the Giants.
Yeah, especially with the absence of Saquon.
Yeah.
Poor dude will be out for a couple of weeks.
Daniel Jones had Ingram and Shepard both over 100 yards each receiving. So when you have 2 receivers over 100 yards, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah. Winston for the Bucs was 23 for 37, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 1 interception.
And Mike Evans, 8 receptions, 190 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's a pretty good night, if you ask me.
Next, we got the Panthers Cardinals. Panthers finally pick up a win, 38-20 over the Cardinals.
Oh, poor Cardinals.
Yeah.
They have young talent and old talent and nothing in between.
Murray started out the season good, and I'm not saying that I think his season's going to go down from here, but he just didn't have a good game. He was 30 for 43, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, but matched with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and then they had Christian Kirk. He was their top receiver with 10 receptions and 59 yards. Larry Fitzgerald didn't do much, but he wasn't targeted that much. So, yeah.
For the Panthers,
Kyle
Allen, 19 for 26, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not bad for being the backup.
Yeah, backup. Let's say Cam Newton. He gets the bench for being injured, and then they win a game. So we'll see
how that works after that.
When he comes back, if they'll actually
see if
play
there's
him.
going to be any controversy with that.
Yeah.
Maybe look to move to another team, or maybe he just sits a bit like Eli Manning, and it's a second-string quarterback. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey had 24 carries for 153 yards, 1 touchdown. He had pretty sure he had a 75-yard touchdown. Pretty crazy.
It was impressive. He's a great running back. So
yeah, he struggled a little bit early, and I think he found himself this game. It'd be fun to watch him moving on. Last game of the week.
Steelers and the 49ers. It's another Jimmy Garoppolo win, 24-20. I mean, nobody likes him apparently, but he's turning out to be a decent quarterback. He was 23 for 32 with 277 yards and 1 touchdown. That's pretty good for an unliked quarterback. Yeah. And then he also had Raheem for 12 carries and 79 yards. It's not bad to back up your decent throwing yards.
Steelers side, we had Mason Rudolph with 12 for 27, or maybe 17 for 27, I don't know. 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Juju had 3 catches for 81 yards and 1 touchdown. It's not bad. I mean, he could. The QB situation kind of sucks having. Roethlisberger out.
Roethlisberger has been their go-to guy for so long, and without him, they just aren't the same team. I mean, they're just a completely different team right now. Because they lost Le'Veon Bell and then Antonio Brown, who still, I don't know what's going on with him.
He's not playing in the NFL anymore.
He says he's not playing in the NFL, but he might not even get paid what he was guaranteed, which would suck for him.
Yeah.
What's he going to do, go to the CFL? Rough.
But yeah, honestly though, looking at this, the 49ers probably should have won that by more.
Yeah.
They've been playing well before that. They were playing good. Did a little bit of a drop off, but other than that, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
And the Bears got a win last night, and it was a pretty good one too. It wasn't one that that was as scary as the others have been. They actually looked like they were just a better team, which is how they should have been looking.
Yeah.
And so that was good.
The Bears should be hopeful. I think they're going to turn it around.
Yeah.
Because they're a decent team.
Yeah. They're no worse than they were last year. I think they should be a top 10 team. They just haven't played like that yet.
Yeah. Actually, I think they're better than they were last year. But
yeah, that is our NFL Week 3 recap. Be looking for a preview coming soon.